So I'm gonna try not to get too bogged down into politics and into all of these controversial things that are going on. But the honest truth of the matter is today's world, and I'm recording this on March the 13th, 2026. Today's modern world is so polarized, it's so politicized, that just about any sort of topic that you're touching on, especially when it comes to sales and persuasion, unless you want to touch on regular ads, in which even touching on a regular ads makes it pretty much impossible not to touch onto something that's become politicized or something that's on everybody's lips. So with that being said, that's just sort of like a preview of why I might be considered a little bit political lately, because these topics are highly political, but my point is not so much the politics of it all, because, and I'm doing my very best here, I am apolitical with respect to the current climate. Everyone is a moron. Everyone on the right is a moron. Everyone on the left is a moron. And it even appears like people in the center is a moron as well. There are no true centrists. There are no regular or normal people anymore, it seems like. It's like either you take the worst of the worst from the right or the worst of the worst from the left, right? And that's what you want to sell people on. Oh, the left is a bunch of liberal lunatic communists who want total control and supervision like Stalin wanted in the 1930s and 40s and 50s and whatever. And some of them are. And they say that, oh, the political right, they're capitalist pigs. All they think about is money. They want to make it impossible for people to get free healthcare, to get proper food. Everything should cost something. They want to squeeze the poor out, and they want to pull up the ladder so that nobody has a chance of ever making it and making more money. And all they can think about is making more money all the time. And yes, there are people like that on the political right as well. Let's not kid ourselves here. But the solution isn't to increase taxes massively like the left want to do, so that you even out and make it more just for everyone and give everyone the same rights, because everybody doesn't deserve the same rights. Everybody deserves the same possibilities in the beginning. They deserve the same starting point, and then depending on the effort that they put in, the same rights. That's different. That's very different than what the political left or some of those on the political left are saying. Similarly, not everyone has a knack for making as much money, right? So it means that in an economy where if you're rich, you're getting pretty much everything that you want, it's going to favor those who know how to make money and not necessarily those who work hard. Because I can guarantee you, there's people who are left-leaning and oriented who work their asses off every single day. Most of them are in nursery, healthcare, maybe first responders, maybe firefighters, maybe even the police, etc., etc. Maybe your average construction worker or your average factory worker or plant worker or something like that. And they don't necessarily generate the same sort of money that people on the political right are doing just by punching a few buttons, or even just by holding their phone like this and punching a few buttons and doing some trades, or in getting some deals done, or making a phone call, because their fathers put the entire relationship milieu into place before they were even born. So they were born into this, right? My point of all this is not so much, the point of this whole rant really, is just to show you that there are good things and bad things on either side. And if you can't acknowledge that, well then you are the moron. You're no better than those who you oppose. And in terms of sales and persuasion, you're doing a terrible job, because people realize that you're actually lying. You can't anymore hide your political agenda, and you can't anymore hide the good and the bad of the other side, because people are going to find out. unless they're intellectually lazy. And unless you want to market yourself to an audience that's intellectually lazy. This is like so many of these influencers online who target these young ass kids who are on their TikTok and Instagram profiles all day long. All they do is scroll Instagram and TikTok and they watch reels and they're dumb and they're getting dumbed down, and all they want is more meaningless entertainment. They don't want quality. And because they don't want quality, just because they're bored and they want to be entertained, it means you can sell them pretty much everything that you want because they're the low-hanging fruit. You don't sell to skeptics like me who actually require concrete, solid evidence and proof, backed up by facts, numbers, statistics, and substance. So what makes politics different? You know, the funny thing is, this video was meant to be something completely else. I just wanted to introduce the theme by showing you how messed up politics has become. But now all of a sudden I find myself in this weird, bizarre rant where I'm attacking both the political right and the political left. That means I'm attacking you, Mr. Democrat, and you, Mr. Republican. Well, whatever, because you're both retarded and because you both fail to understand there are good things about either side and about the opposite side, and that you should actually try to meet in the middle. You know, well, as I'm saying this, I sound like an old boring fart who's just tired of all the bickering, and it's so weird to see. I see adult men, I see adult women, I see all of these political pundits. They each have their own podcasts, and they each attack the other side, and they refuse to understand that there are good things about the other side as well. Why can't we have both? And why can't you persuade your audience and everyone around you and sell them on the point that, yes, my personal opinion is A, but I'm also willing to acknowledge that B is a solid point. I don't know what's going on with my voice today, really. It's a little bit messed up. That's why I'm drinking water, but whatever. It's probably because I'm shouting and yelling so much. Anyway, so if you're a hardcore MAGA Republican, you're a douche and a moron. If you're a hardcore liberal left-wing communist, you're a douche and you're a moron. If you claim to be a centrist, then why can't you incorporate the good stuff from either side? Such as, when you're paying taxes on your friggin' revenue, those taxes shouldn't be funding these rich-ass, greedy-ass politicians. They should go to schools, to infrastructure, to hospitals, and to, yes, even free healthcare. But also, you should be incentivized to work hard, and the harder you work, the more money you make. Do you see how important that is? Do you understand how important that is? It's not like there should be a finite cap and a threshold for how much money you should make, because everybody should just make, I don't know, $100,000 a year. It's garbage. It's nonsense. Everybody knows that. And if you don't know that, either you're a moron, or you're lying, or you have a vested financial interest in advocating for that particular view. It is as simple as that. And so, with respect to sales and persuasion, you can't outcompete and you can't outsmart the people, really. They will speak and they will retaliate. And maybe your side is doing better now, but trust me, there's going to come a time where it's going to do horrible, where people are going to push back. I mean, part of that was how Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election. Somebody said he was the first internet president, and they're kind of right. You know, social media clips, all that kind of jazz. People saw just right past it. Well, can you see past how certain people on the left perhaps are misrepresented as well. The problem is, and I think it was Konstantin Kisin from Trigonometry who said this, there isn't somebody who's a good, honest debater on the political left, because they all resort to personal attacks when they're challenged, regrettably. And so that's why you get the impression that the political left is doing so poorly. But just look at some of those people who vote left-leaning. They're not all morons. It's the same thing about people who vote for the political right. They're not all right-wing MAGA gun nuts that just don't want the craziness of the left coming to to their town or their place. And so this brings me actually to the rub of this entire rant, which is again not about politics. For one, I'm as apolitical as you can get, really, at this point. However, it is to use politics as it's being sold today to show you that it doesn't work. Because two ideas can be true, and you can sell people on the good from one side and the good from another side. In short, in political terms, you can sell people on being centrists if you want, because people aren't dumb. And if you hide and omit the truth, people are going to find out. So, whatever you're selling or doing, politics or business, pots and pans, or I don't know, glass water bottles, then sell people on both the good and the bad and let them make the final decision. Be honest and transparent in your sales and persuasion. That's the main lesson for today. If you want to learn more about sales and persuasion, that gets subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you are watching or are listening to this. And I'll see you there.